Happy New Year, all. It's 2025, and we're talking Lady Saints basketball. We're here with head coach Will Martineau. The Lady Saints will host Independence on Wednesday at 5:30 in the Greenhouse. The sponsor for the game is La Mexicana and La Fiesta. You can get tickets for the game at the radio station or at Billy's Barbecue, at Billy's Air Lanes, Brickhouse Barbecue, Billy's Air Lanes, and State Farm, Aaron Knutson. So come on out to the Greenhouse on Wednesday and root on your Lady Saints. Coach didn't really start off the year you wanted to. You guys went out to Colby and you lost a tough one. Let's put it that way. You lost a tough one, and let's talk a little bit about that game.
Sure. First and foremost, I think Colby. I think is 8-1 this year at home, and so tough place to play. And I think for us it was about made and missed shots. I thought we were pretty good defensively. Held them to 65 points. Should be a winnable score for us. But we didn't make shots. I thought our turnovers were in a pretty good spot. We only turned it over 13 times. We out-rebounded Colby, and we made more free throws. We made as many free throws as Colby attempted. So
Right.
I was okay with those areas, but we didn't make enough shots. And so, unfortunately for us, the game didn't end up going the way that we wanted. We dug ourselves into a pretty deep hole, 34-21 at half.
Right.
But I was proud of our crew. We challenged them at halftime. They stormed back. We tied it at 41 in the third quarter. And so I felt like our team did a really, really good job of responding to the challenge at halftime. And we just kind of didn't have enough made shots in our bag on Monday night.
Yeah, it was a game of runs. Really, if you really think about it, got off to a good start. Then you guys came back, and then they came back again, and sort of a back and forth game. And again, sort of the MO of your team is that you're never out of it. Even though you were down 13, you guys came back and stormed back twice, and it just sort of seemed like they made their big run at the end, and then you maybe just ran out of gas or however it was. It was just one of those things. And actually, it's kind of crazy at the very end. You guys actually almost, I won't say almost came up, but with 11 seconds left, you guys had a 5-point play almost. And almost came, and that would have been pretty wild. And unfortunately, the deficit was just too bad. And by that 5-point, I'll just summarize a little bit. Coach gets the technical, you hit 2. It was Yanni hits another 3, and before you know it, it's was it 4? It was
within reach.
It was 4 points and 11 seconds. Who knows what happens? But it didn't turn out that way, and unfortunately, not the way you want to. But again, team battled through. I think that Kazai Grant Bob played really well, or at least in the second half of it, got to the line a lot and started kind of asserting yourself.
Yeah, and hit a corner 3. It's a shot that Keziah can hit. She doesn't get a lot of looks at it, but she can hit that shot, and she proved it last night. I think she's only shot 4 threes on the year, but she's 2 for 4 from 3-point range, and it's a shot you see her shooting in the gym, and so she's staying fresh with it. We just ask her to play a little bit of a different role for us, and she's willing to, and does a terrific job. And so, I definitely challenged her at halftime. Asked her to run a little bit harder in transition. Asked her to rebound a little bit more in the second half, and I felt like she showed up in a big way for us.
Right, and I know no one likes to use excuses. But it is part of it. Out over your team was without a major player with Ari Gordon, and you guys were actually have been battling illness throughout this whole when you guys came back. And I know that for you personally, no excuses. We've got to play through it. We've got to win. We've got to do it. But no matter what, still, you kind of think, unfortunately, if you guys are at full strength, and we've said this over before with those things, if you guys are at full strength, and again, game against McCook, the game against Cloud, different story, right?
Yeah, and I think too, it puts it into perspective a little bit too. Like when you sit on your couch at home and you watch Kansas and whoever, or K-State and whoever, you have no idea if those players are sick, what they're going through, battling on a day-to-day basis, and you get upset because they can't make a layup that day, or you get upset because they turn the ball over too much. But then when you feel it as a coach, you have a little bit of a different perspective, right?
Right.
So,
Go ahead.
My message to our team is it's never an excuse. We're never gonna, if you step on the floor, Colby doesn't care that you're sick.
Right.
They want to take it to you, and they got after us a little bit in the first half.
Yeah.
And so, for us, we can never have that be an excuse.
Right.
But,
as a coach, you want to be empathetic.
yes,
And I think that's it. Is that you guys have, like you said, exactly. I don't care if Allie has the flu or whatever, or Yanni is coughing or whatever. I want to make shots and I want to win. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because you expect like the Michael Jordan game, the flu.
Well, we're passionate about our student athletes, and
Right.
I think that's part of it.
Right.
But I also think that they need to understand too. Like, if you're good enough to play, if you're healthy enough to play, we expect you to play.
Right.
And so I give a lot of credit to our student athletes. They stepped out onto the court last night, and a lot of them were sick. And it's something that we very easily could have talked about at the beginning of our conversation today, but I don't like to bring it up because it can't be an excuse for us,
Right.
and we're going to keep pushing forward. And so they all practiced today. We're very, very excited for Wednesday. We'll get another chance to step out onto the greenhouse and defend our home court. We're undefeated at home.
Right.
We want to work hard to earn our 8th victory at home tomorrow. And so, our practice this morning was very spirited.
Yes.
We're coming back this afternoon, watching film, getting ready for Independence. It's going to be another very spirited practice, and we got to get back onto our winning track.
Yeah, and again, the team just showed its mettle. I thought that the fact is that you're sick, but yeah, you were so close. You were pretty close. So, now let's talk a little bit about Wednesday's game in Independence. They have pretty much struggled this year. They are, I think, they're winless in the conference and only have one overall win.
Sure.
So, how is again, going into that game, making sure that the girls don't let up, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I think, for us, I think a lot of it has to come down to we're coming off a loss.
There
And
you go.
so if that doesn't inspire you enough, then maybe we need to come up here into my office and have a conversation about what we're doing.
Right.
Because you should be inspired by it. You should be excited about the fact that we get another opportunity to play this game that we love and that we want to be really, really good at.
Right.
So, for us, I think that should be enough. It should be enough intrinsic motivation to go out and perform to the best of our abilities on Wednesday in front of our home crowd. First time in 2025 that we get to do so.
Right.
It also gets us a primer before we play Coffeyville.
Right.
But that can't be our focus. Our focus is on Independence. Our focus is on getting back to what we want to do at a very, very good rate.
Right.
And Independence creates its own challenges. We didn't shoot the ball well Monday night.
Right.
And I get it. We were on the road, but Independence plays a lot of zone. And so we've got to get ready to shoot the basketball. We have to be ready to put the ball in the hoop
Right.
and share the ball, and then we have to bring our defense. And so you sat through a little bit of practice today, Phil. We were working on our defensive aspect of stuff, and I think it's really, really good when you have members of your team getting after each other.
Yeah.
And so they were doing that today.
You sort of
And-
seen that amongst the players, and that's always an interesting dynamic way
Yeah.
you sort of see it. You always think that when they're playing, that they're all buddies, but actually the competitive spirit and that's what you want as a coach.
Yeah, and you want to see them compete against each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to see them be able to leave it at the locker room door when
Right.
they leave practice. And so I think our team is starting to feel what that's like, and they're starting to have a really, really good grasp of, hey, this is what we have to do, and I'm going to try to bust you up every single day in practice because it not only makes me better, but it makes you better as well.
That
And
was
so-
actually a really interesting point over there, as I just don't want to give away too much of our practice, but the fact is that you had constantly said that, that person's annoying you, but she's going to make you better. And it actually works. It's a dynamic of whether one player, the harder that she works makes the other person harder to work, but also at the same time, too, you realize that, too, makes you work harder as you see that. So everyone benefits from that.
100%. And so I think that's a big aspect of what we need to do as a coaching staff. We need to put our team in more competitive situations in practice. Not that we don't, but it needs to be more, and it needs to be amped up. And so we're finding ways as a coaching staff to continue to amp up practice, continue to put our ladies in a position that we have to go out, we have to compete at practice so that it transfers over on game day. And so we're on the right track. and part of it, a little bit is on me. I did maybe have a little bit too much empathy for them leading up to the Colby game about maybe their sickness and stuff like that. But we're going to get past that now for the
right.
next couple of days, and we're going to get ready to rock and roll on Wednesday night against Independence.
Okay. And also, you guys are playing in a stretch of 3 games in 6 days, I think. And how is that? How do you think that that's going to affect the team?
Well, I hope it doesn't affect us at all. I had a couple of people ask me, "Man, you're gonna make them practice through this whole thing, and like, are they gonna get a day off?" And you get to do what you love for 10 straight days, like,
Right. And there are no classes.
yeah, and there's no classes, and so we're looking down the barrel at an off day on Sunday. But our team's going to continue to grind. They're going to continue to show up and practice as hard as they can, and that's what we need, and that's what we want. And so, if people thought we were just going to come back from Colby after what happened on Monday night and show up today and just have an easy peasy practice, they're mistaken. And so, we definitely are getting after it. We're putting them in spots that make it competitive, make them have to communicate with each other and connect, and then they've got to be able to go out and transfer it over on game day.
Right. Okay. Again, the Lady Saints will play at 5:30 against Independent at the Greenhouse. Game day sponsors La Mexicana and La Fiesta radio stations. Get your tickets at the radio station or go to Billy's Zero Lanes, Brick House Barbecue, or State Farm Aaron Knutson. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck against Independence.
Thanks, Phil. Talk to you soon.
Yep.